Hey folks, did you send your photos in to me to have it here on the show? Well, if not, what are you doing? I'm your host, Chad Stanton, and yes, this is the show that is not about me and what's going on in my shop, but what you are doing in your shop. Now, first things first, yesterday was Veterans Day, and I know we have a lot of vets that watch the show. I know there's a lot that are part of the show, and so we want to thank you for your service and hope you enjoyed your day. All right, well, let's get right into it. Starting off with today, we have Tim Turner. Now, last week on Friday, I did a video on building a easy, fast bed frame. And so Tim I made this bed frame a little bit a while ago, but he sent his photo in to show me the work that he's done. And his bed frame looks more rustic than mine. And I like rustic furniture, so it looks great there, Tim. I don't know if you made it out of pallet wood, but it kind of has that look of like pallets. So anyhow, I wanted to thank you for watching the videos and for sending in your photo. Erskine Carter. Erskine has really been getting into turning lately, he said. And he made this dish, pot, I'm not sure what you would call that there, container. Erskine made this container, and he said he did it from a dead ash tree that was on his property. And he said turning is becoming quite addicting to him. And he also made a couple of little toy ATVs. I'm not sure who those were for, maybe his grandsons, or maybe they're going to be gifts for the holidays coming up. But either way, Erskine sent that photo in to us. Jim over there at Lasting Build. Jim was new last week, and he sent in not only his photos of a workbench that he made, all with hand tools. He included a video with it. He's now working on a treadle lathe, and same thing, he's doing it all with hand tools. And I imagine he's filming it as well. So when we have that video from you there, Jim, we'll make sure to put a link in at the bottom. But right now we get to check out the progress of what he's making. I've never used a treadle lathe. I've always been real curious about it. As most of you viewers know, I'm not big into turning. I only do it when the job requires it. But I think a treadle lathe would be interesting. You have to get the timing right, the speed right with your leg, and also too, I think you can only cut on the downstroke. So when it's reversing, you have to pull away. Anyways, I'm sure Jim will tell us all about it. Philip Quinn. Philip is over there in West Virginia. I had the pleasure of meeting him a few weeks ago, and he's busy making 5 of these treasure chests for the holidays. I guess he made one for a doctor that he knows, and the doctor liked it so much for himself, he has now commissioned Phil to make 5 more to give out for gifts, and he's starting to feel the pressure a little bit, I think. So anyhow, Phil has that going on. Tom Bertino. Tom, let me tell you, Tom is a nice guy. Tom volunteers his time and knowledge for the Omaha Central High School out there and for the theater department. And what he does is he teaches the kids how to use tools and how to build the sets for it. And these are some photos they're going to do the play of Guys and Dolls, and they made everything. The benches there that you see, he said that they really reinforced them because the kids are going to be standing on them and dancing and whatnot. But they made all the background sets too. So, anytime we can, you've heard me say it before, anytime we can get young people, kids involved in this wonderful craft, it's certainly worth the effort. And I know Tom has told me before that a lot of the kids, after they graduate, they come back as volunteers to help build other sets for the next classes. So great stuff that you're doing there, Tom. Thank you. Jeff Burton. Jeff, I think Jeff likes to be punished because he has took on restoring some old chairs. I think he said they were over 100 years old. And I'm telling you, restoration work, I've done it, I still do it, but I'd rather create than to rebuild. But hey, to each their own. And Jeff has took these chairs where the back spindles on it and the back rail, it was broke. Everything was kind of falling apart on him. And it's not just one, he had to do like a whole set. But because of that back curved rail to it, it was split so bad he had to cut it shorter, which means he had to cut all those back spindles shorter too. There's probably no other way of doing it other than having the steam bend a whole new back, which is way too much work. But anyhow, it looks great there, Jeff. I'm sure the customers will be thrilled with it. Okay, so Willie Cortez. Willie doesn't really have a project that he's working on this week, but he knows, like so many of you all, that I love hand tools. And so he sent in this photo of his tool collection. This is his little niche that he runs to when something has to be fixed or made. And for the most part, this stuff looks pretty organized there. And I was looking at the photos, kind of zooming in, and I see that he has a lot of the same hand planes that I have. Like he's got that Stanley 78 Rabbit plane. I love that plane. So kind of cool to see we have the same things in common there, Willie. But I am curious what your next project's going to be. So make sure you share it with us. Let's see. Oh, we got Bill Holland. Bill is making some... he's made a Christmas ornament, and it's for his sister's wedding. So his sister didn't get married on Christmas, but it was real close, so they kind of had the whole wedding theme along with Christmas. And so he made this ornament for the Christmas tree as a just a tribute, as an anniversary gift to him. And it's made out of Paduke and maple. And Bill actually said he learned a lot on this project. And it was kind of funny. Maybe next week I'll read the email to you all. He said the things he learned not to do on the project. And yeah, sometimes that's the best lesson in woodworking, is learning what doesn't work, so you can either share that experience and pass it on to help prevent others from it, which we try and do here, or if just yourself, the next time you got to do it, you know to skip that or don't waste your time with it because it doesn't work. So, don't feel too bad about that, Bill. Again, sometimes that's the best way to learn woodworking. Let's see, let's turn the page and see what else we got. Andrew Ickham. Andrew has been diligently working on a TV console. It's rather large. He designed it. He's building it out of white oak, and he's doing it all with hand tools. So, your progress is going to be a little bit slower, obviously, but I think the satisfaction is going to be better in the end. And so he's working on the cabinet doors to it right now because he has the carcass and everything all done. The cabinet doors are going to get glass, so he had to put a rabbet on the inside for the glass to sit in, and he had to do some calculations prior to that, because with his mortise and tenon, when he put the stiles and rails together, he had to offset that so there was room to make the rabbet for the glass. So he either realized this before he built it, or read about it, or saw it online. But those are the little things that sometimes get skipped, when we're trying to design and do things on our own. Again, you'll learn from your mistake. You won't do it twice. But in Andrew's case, it's a good thing he realized that ahead of time, because white oak, that would be a costly mistake there. But anyhow, it's looking great, Andrew, and I'm really excited to keep seeing your improvements and advancing with the project. And thank you for sharing it here. Charlie Hinton. Charlie's been working on a little box. It's made from ambrosia maple and mesquite wood, and he's got it all done. He's finished it, and if I'm not mistaken, I think this was the one that was really fighting him, because when he resawed the mesquite wood, I think it kind of twisted and warped, and it was just giving him kind of grief there for a while. And looks great. He said he finished it with Danish oil and then a lacquer over that. And you can see he put splines in the miters there to reinforce it, keep it nice and strong. That's a good thing to do. Overall, it looks great there, Charlie, and thanks for sending your photo in. And same thing I'll ask you that I did a couple of the others. What's your next project going to be? Make sure you share it here. Ray King. Ray is another one who's completed his project. Now, Ray's been a little bit under the weather. I think he had some heart surgery that was going on, so he had to take it slow. I think he's building up his endurance to get out in the shop, but he's out there. He completed the cedar chest that he was making for his wife. And last week he showed us how he had carved the little birds and the flower that goes on it. So we can see that here on the photos. And he said it was a gift for his wife. So I didn't know if it was a surprise for her, Ray, or if she knew it was coming. It's kind of big, so I think that would be hard to hide. But really neat, really nice. I'm sure you guys will get many, many years out of storing things in it, which is perfect for this time of year. You put the summer gear in it, and the winter gear comes out, and I'm sure it'll get a lot of use. Another Ray Hendrich. Hendrich. Sorry, Ray. Ray is also busy making some Christmas gifts. He's making these little bird feeders that look like porch swings. And he's got 9 of them to make. And, for me, you've heard me say it before, I always like making the first project or job the first time. It's fun. It's a little bit slower because you have to kind of think things through and work around some problems. Where the second one will go faster, but I lose all interest in building anything twice. I have zero interest in that. I like just doing one at a time. But I do have a couple of things I'll repeat. In fact, on Wednesday, I'll talk a little bit more what I got going on in my shop. I got finished one job, turned around, I got to do another one just like it for them. So anyhow, that's Wednesday. Don Mullins. Again, Don is another fellow who doesn't really have a project to show that he's building, but Don restored an old miter saw box. And, I like my hand tools without a doubt. Some folks out there might be going, old miter saw box, who cares? Let me tell you, you go into a job site, or even if you're on your own house, I could put that little thing right in the middle, cut my trim, set it, and it's not loud, it's not that dusty, and it's pretty darn accurate. I mean, I can get some very fine cuts with an old miter saw box and an electric one. But anyhow, I just appreciate the fact there that Dan took an old tool, brought it back to life, and it's now going to get used again. And rounding up our last entry here for this week was from Mr. Moe. Mr. Moe is another fellow who's not been feeling too well the last few weeks, so it's tough for him to get out in the shop. and get things done. So he sent in this photo of a spatula he made, and he said the spatula doesn't really get used a whole lot because the handle isn't very ergonomically set to use. You know, once again, that's how we learn, is through our mistakes. So don't feel bad about it, Mr. Mo. It still looks good, and I wouldn't have known. It wouldn't have been impractical to use just from the photo. However, I don't cook anything. I'm a terrible cook. I tell folks I can screw up a bowl of cereal, so don't ask me to cook. But anyhow, it's pretty nice that you made that. I imagine you do cooking, or your wife does the cooking, and it gets put to good use anyhow. All right, well, that's it for this week. I wanted to thank you all for sending in your photos. And check out Wednesday's video. It should be a pretty full video. I got a lot of stuff for Wednesday's after hours episodes. But if you would like to have your project shown on this show, feel free to email me at woodchoppintime@gmail.com. And of course, if you just even have some woodworking questions on your own project that you're trying to make or you're stuck, again, email me there and I will do my best to help you complete your project. So until then, thanks for watching and keep on dancing.